So Glenn, I know that you went through a lot of your adult life with us, but there was still a lot you wanted to share, or you needed to share. We didn't hear enough about your life, and we want to hear your story and where you're from, where your family originated, all of that you're willing to share with us.
Certainly. Is that too loud? Too close?
They'll
Okay.
adjust it.
My voice booms, so I really don't even need this microphone, really. She'll tell you. She's like, Glenn, you're talking too loud. Okay, so the last time we were here, we were discussing how God was in my life, whether it was finding new work, finding new jobs, getting through school, finding Lisa, other things like that. But my childhood, my life, it's complicated, very complicated. The very fact I'm sitting here with you, with all of you, is, to me, nothing short of a miracle, really. So let's start from the beginning, and what I'm going to do to save time is I'm going to try to condense timelines together, so it'll be more of a Cliff Notes version. There's a lot to go through, so I'm going to try to condense it as much as I can. Lisa will tell you I don't do bullet points at all. So anyway, so let's start from the very beginning. February 7th, 1971, I was born in Castries, St. Lucia. Well, you know what? For the purpose of the story, let me just go through it as if you don't know what's going on. That's probably the best way to do it.
Okay.
So February 7th, 1971, I was born in Castries, St. Lucia. When I was 8 months old, I moved to Puerto Rico, Mayagüez, Puerto Rico. I spent about 3.5 years there. And then I moved to northern Ohio, near Cleveland, a little town called Sheffield Lake. Grew up there. And also Lorain, Ohio, grew up there part of the time. So that's about 1975. We moved to the United States. And let me fast forward. Everything's normal. You know, I'm growing up. I'm an only child. I have two parents. And it's, let's see, let's go back. It's 1981, because I was 10 years old. I was in 5th grade. Again, remember, everything's normal up to this point, right? Mm-hmm. You know, of course, I get disciplined as a child and do all the normal stuff, but I'm sitting at home. It's Saturday morning. I'm doing my normal thing. I am watching cartoons Saturday morning, and it's about 9 o'clock in the morning, and my parents are upstairs, and it's unusual they're upstairs for so long. They're usually downstairs buzzing around in our townhouse. But, you know, it doesn't matter. I'm watching cartoons. I get this, Glenn, come upstairs. I said, uh-oh, what did I do? I don't think I did anything, right? I'm in my head, I'm freaking out because did I do something? This is bad. So I go upstairs and I'm expecting the worst. And my parents tell me, have a seat. We need to tell you something. I was like, what's going on here? Tell me something. Okay, what's going on? They say, Glenn, we have to tell you that we're not your natural parents. We adopted you. You're not our natural child. Now, of course, I'm 10 years old, and I'm trying to process this because remember, I lived a normal life, quote unquote. And they go through the whole process. Yeah, your mother was actually your mom's sister. She was very young when she had you. She was 14. Your father was 29. Now remember, this is St. Lucia. This is not the United States of America, so they didn't have all those child rules. Okay? You have other brothers and sisters, apparently. I was the oldest at the time. I think there was 3 at the time that was born. So I was the oldest of 4 at the time. Now 2 more came on later on, but I'm thinking, wow, I have brothers and sisters? I'm not an only child. I'm adopted. These are not my natural parents, but they're my aunt and uncle, really, right? So I'm trying to encapsulate this. Time goes on, and I'm going to fast forward here a little bit. You know, one of the things that at the time, during the course of my life, the overwhelming theme was my parents always reminded me that, you know, remember, your mother gave you up for adoption. She didn't want you. This is the story that was always told to me. She didn't want you. The judge, the social worker, the attorney all asked her, do you want this child? Do you want this child? She said no 3 times. Kind of like when Peter denied Christ 3 times, right? Well, she denied the system 3 times. I don't want him. You can take him. So all my life I was growing up essentially hating my biological mother. It's like, she didn't want me. She gave me up, just like that. And I want nothing to do with her, right? And it got to a point where I even was jealous of my brothers and sisters because I'm thinking in my head, you know, I'm the oldest of 6. She gave me up for adoption, and she kept the other 5. What's going on here? What was wrong with me that she didn't want me? And so I grew up hating them too as well. It's like, what makes you so special? You know? So I grew up, I did what I could in school, and I tried to excel, and blah, blah, blah. Life goes on, and, you know, again, the overwhelming thing, she didn't want you. She actually signed a letter. Now, remind you, at the time, she was still a minor. She was like 16 or 17. In U.S. law, she's a minor. Keep that in mind. That's going to be important later. Okay. So as we go along here, it's, I have to mention this one year, 2010. 2010, I'm about to start work at Airbus. I got this great new job. I'm about to start, and we get a call from New Jersey. They say, hey, your mom is sick. Biological mom is sick. She's in hospice. She's going to die. So I call Airbus, hey, can I come in at the start date? Can I take a week off because I have to address this personal issue? They said, sure. So we go to New Jersey. We visit her in hospice. Guess what I do? I hate her so much that I don't even go in the room to go see her. I just stand outside the door just looking at her. I don't talk to her. I don't do anything. Because the storyline was, she gave you up for adoption. She did not want you. Okay? Fine. God is good, and he actually heals her for a little bit. She comes out of hospice, and she survives another 3 years. She doesn't die until 2013, okay? So I get a call from my brother. He lives in South Carolina, and he said, hey, Glenn, you know, Mom passed away, as you know, and we want you to be a pallbearer. Guess what my answer was? I said, no, I'm not going. I'm not even going to the funeral. My brother was pissed. Excuse my language, sorry. Angry, that's what I meant to say, angry, sorry. Angry. Now, mind you, my brother was in the Marines for 8 years, so he was a military guy, and he said, look, Glenn, if you don't come to this funeral, I'm going to come to your house personally and drag you there. He was angry. I said, look, Tito, I'm not going. She didn't want me. And he said, Glenn, there's a lot to the story that you don't know. I'm going to expect you there at the funeral. So finally I conceded. I said, okay, fine, I'll go. I didn't want to go, but I went anyway. So we do the funeral, we lay her to rest. At this point, I'm still angry. I was like, I don't care if she passed away. I care nothing about this. After the funeral, we at the repast and all the events that followed, all my brothers and sisters come to start talking to me and say, Glenn, there's something you really need to know. The storyline that you've been fed is a complete fabrication. I was like, what are you talking about? He said, the fact that your mother didn't want you, not true. Not true. It's not true at all. You've been lied to. And at the time, it's hard to, you've been programmed for so long with this storyline. In fact, my father used to tell me, we have the letter that your mom wrote, proves that she didn't want you. She wrote the letter to the courts. I said, and I accepted it as fact because it's my parents. Why would they lie to me, right? Because they gave me a great life. They gave me a great life. They sent me to the Catholic school, and they gave me a great life. They raised me good. I'm here now, you know, and so in my head, I said, why would they lie to me? So my brothers and sisters are talking to me, and they're telling me all these facts. Glenn, she did not give you up willingly for adoption. That's not the case. She took you at 8 months old. She went to Puerto Rico, and she went to go visit her sister. And she got sick, really, really sick. She got some sort of like abscess in her mouth. She almost died. Doctor said, you need to rest. So she went back to St. Lucia without me. And you know, that's very common in the West Indies for families to take care of children. That's not too uncommon. So she left me with them. And apparently, they got so enthralled by me, they probably said, you know what, we would like to adopt him. But we can't do it without someone signing the paperwork. Now, remember, she's 16, or she's a minor, right? Puerto Rico goes according to U.S. law, right? It's U.S. law there. So if you're under 18, you can't sign for yourself. So the storyline where they said that she said, yes, I agree. I don't want him. Give him up for adoption. That's not true. She couldn't make that decision on her own. Of course, in my head, I didn't think about that. I was listening to my parents, what they were telling me all this time. So I'm hearing this other storyline from my brothers and sisters, and I can't believe it. I'm like, you know, I'm in this state of shock. It's like, what do I believe? Do I believe years and years of programming, the consistent story, or do I believe these people that basically I just kind of met, right? The problem is that when I talk to other family members, they all had the same story as my brothers and sisters. The only story that was different was my parents. So my parents kind of picked up on this while we were there, and they were acting really weird. They were like, Len, where are you at? And like, there was one part, I was actually with my brothers and sisters at, what's that? What's that? That's right, Cheesecake Factory. Thank you, Cheesecake Factory. And we had a great time. We were eating appetizers. I get a phone call from my parents saying, hey, Glenn, can you come back here and pick us up on some fried chicken? I said, you have a car. Why can't you pick up fried chicken? But the whole express purpose of that was to get me away from the news source. They were worried that new information was going to come to me. They were worried about it, really worried, to the point where they were fabricating this, oh, we're hungry. Can you pick us up on fried chicken? I said, no, I'm not doing that. I'm here with my brothers and sisters. I'm having a good time. I'm trying to learn who these people are, all right? So I'm going to try to condense this a little bit more. So 2013, again, a big revelation, a huge revelation, something I was not aware of. And they also said, my brother told me, Glenn, the very fact that mom wrote a letter, that's not possible. I said, why is that? She was illiterate. She couldn't read or write. She left school at 12 years of age. Why? Because she was kicked out of the house. Her sister and her had a big argument, and she kicked her out of the house at 12 years old. My mother had a really hard life, and that's why she ended up in the household of my real father, who was 29. He was basically preying on not even a teenage girl. Come on. So anyways, I say, what do you mean she was illiterate? She says, Glenn, I taught her how to read and write. The reason why is because when I would do homework and take it to school, this is my brother Tito, my teacher said, who helped you with your homework? I said, my mom. Well, tell your mom to stop doing that. She's not helping you. She's hurting you. That's what when they found out, she couldn't read or write. So it'd been impossible for her to write a letter. So at this point, I said, okay, this story is A, this story is B, something's wrong here. Let's find out what's going on. So guess what? I did. I confronted my dad. Now, mind you, my father, Daniel Ramos, was a difficult man. He was a harsh man, a very harsh man, to the point where I can tell you right now, and may lightly strike me now if I'm lying, there's not one point in time in my life that I ever talked back to my father. Not one time. I didn't look at him and cross, nothing, because I knew what the repercussions would be. He was a very harsh man. But this time I said, no, I got to know what's going on. So I confronted him about it. I said, hey, Papa, you remember that letter you said you had from my mom that she wrote and detailing that she didn't want me? He goes, yeah. Do you have it? I want it. I want to see it. He goes, what letter? I said, well, wait a minute. The letter you told me that you had. The letter she wrote that says she did not want me. The letter that was supposedly thrown into court at my adoption. He goes, I don't know what I don't have that letter. I said, what do you mean you don't have that letter? He said, I don't have that letter with me. Maybe it's in with the adoption center or whatever in Puerto Rico. I said, I don't have that letter. I said, you told me you had that letter. For years, you always told me that she didn't want me, she didn't love me, blah, blah, blah. He goes, I never told you that. I was like, what? I said, Papa, do you realize what you have done? I have spent years hating this woman for nothing. I spent years hating this woman for nothing. You told me she didn't want me. You told me she wrote a letter that justifies the adoption. And now you're saying, oh, that doesn't exist? I mean, at that point, I thought my world was collapsing because I said, all these years you lied to me? And he got upset at me. Imagine that. He got upset with me to the point now he's blocked my phone number. I haven't spoken to him in 10 years, or my mother, both of them, because I confronted him on the truth. So I said, let's get this resolved right now. So what I did was, a few years ago, I sent away for information on my adoption to Puerto Rico. I got my adoption paperwork. And of course, here's another thing. Everything was written in Spanish, not in English. So how in the world could this 15, 16-year-old girl read this documentation, even if she was eligible or old enough to do her own adoption, which is not true. So I literally had to go and Google and translate everything. Come to find out, there was one section, I found out what was really going on. And before I say this, let me step back a little bit. My grandmother, this was 2015, she died in 2015. Before she had died, this is really weird what happened. This is really freaky. We were in New Jersey visiting the family, and she said, Glenn, when you go back to Ohio after you drop off Lisa, I need to tell you something. So call me in 2 days. I'm going to tell you some things. I think she was wanted to divulge everything. I think she was done with the lies. I call her back 2 days later. Come to find out, she has stroke. You can't make this up. You can't make this stuff up. You just can't. You just really can't. She has stroke, and it attacked her speech center, so she couldn't talk. She couldn't even write. So we went to go back to see her again, and I mean, she was basically a vegetable at this point. So I had to kind of piece everything together myself. Lisa was really the spark plug for all this. She was like, Glenn, something about your storyline just does not make sense at all. And she really helped me kind of piece things together. And she's really good with that kind of stuff. And so I went ahead, going back to the adoption paperwork, got the adoption paperwork. There was a section in where I saw a signature. It was Gloria Monplese. It was my grandmother's signature. She actually signed for my adoption to happen. That was the part of the story they forgot to include when they told me about this. And you know what the crazy thing was? In 2014, Lisa and I had gone to Las Vegas to visit my sister out there. And it just so happened my real father was living there at the time. And we went to lunch with him at a Mexican restaurant. And he goes, I said, hey, what's up with my adoption? And he's a known liar. He's an avid liar. I said, look, when you tell... I think 22 that we know of. Yeah, Papa was a Rolling Stone, okay? Yeah, he got around. So I said, hey, Matthew, because I didn't call him father. I refused to call him father. I said, Matthew, tell me the truth about my adoption and pretend God is standing at your right shoulder, okay? Pretend. And he went ahead and said, yeah, your grandma had something to do with it. It was your grandmother and your parents. And I was about to jump off the table and basically strangle him because I told you, don't lie to me. And Lisa actually had to grab my leg and hold me down because she saw I was like visibly shaking from anger. Come to find out, he was right. When I read the adoption paperwork, there it was, Gloria Monplaisy, my grandmother signed for it. And it makes sense because it's U.S. law. Only an adult, if your child is a minor, only an adult can approve the adoption. And come to find out, what it was is that my mom, she had 2 miscarriages. I think she had more. Actually, she had more than 2 miscarriages. She had 2 or 3 miscarriages. She couldn't have her own children. So from my grandma's perspective, this was a win-win situation because one, my other daughter, my real mother, was too young to have a child, and my other daughter here can't have a child. So let's give Glenn over to her. I feel like the stock exchange here or something. It's like, are we exchanging stocks here? What's going on here? So looking at the paper, I still have the paper at home actually right now, and I confronted my dad about it again. I say, okay, so here we are. You lied about the adoption reason. You lied about the letter. I confronted about, hey, I found out about grandma signing over me to you. Click, hang up the phone, and that was it. He was so angry and so upset, he blocked my phone number. He blocked Lisa's phone number. He even blocked my mother-in-law's phone number. I can't get in contact with him. He's that angry. He's angry at me because I found out the truth. And, you know, it's just simply amazing. You know, they say that when you fill out your soul contract, you pick out your parents. Apparently, I picked out 2 sets of parents. But apparently, I must have been blind because when I did it, because I didn't read the fine print, apparently. So, let's see. Oh, yeah. 12-year-old girl with 29-year-old guy. Perfect. First set of parents. That's awesome. Let me pick that one. We have a mean father and a whacked out aunt. Oh, let me pick that one too. That's great. That's great. That's awesome.
Let me ask you something,
Yes.
Glenn. What have you learned about forgiveness?
You know, that's a good thing because it took me a while. It's been years of frustration and anger and rage. And it's the kind of stuff that you bury deep. And I think that's the reason why I get so angry sometimes, because it's sometimes it percolates to the top. But you bury it deep. And now I'm to the point where, you know what? I want to let go of this negative energy. And that's what my spiritual ride has been about now, I think. I just want to acknowledge the information. I've accepted the information now. And I've forgiven my mother. And I've actually talked to her post-death now. And I just pray. I say, look, you may have to help me with this. I love you. It goes, please forgive me. I am sorry. I love you. Thank you. Right? And I said that multiple times to her.
Okay, good.
And so I've been trying to reach out to her and Grandma, because I think Grandma just did it as she thought it was a good idea. My parents, I'm neutral on them right now. I was kind of in hate mode. I said, what does that serve me? That negative energy does not serve me. I release it now. I release it. So I'm accepting the fact that if they don't want to talk to me, that's on them. That's their karma, right? That's something they have to deal with. When my father goes through his life review at the end of his days, he's going to have to go through that, not me. And then as far as my real father, he's going through his health issues now. I don't judge him. I'm not angry with him anymore. I even told my sisters that, look, I'm not angry with him. I'm trying to let go of that negative energy because I don't want to spill any more energy towards this anymore. I want to go on with my life and develop spiritually from this. But it's amazing that I have 21 other siblings out there. Now, I know of the 5. I know of a couple more that I met at the funeral. But there's people out there that actually look like me. And I'll tell you how bad it is. At the funeral, I learned this story. At least Lisa knows what this is. It happened in St. Lucia. there was this girl at the bar, and this guy started talking to her. They were talking. This actually really happened. And the guy goes, the girl said something that sounded familiar. He says, wait a minute, who's your father? And she goes, Matthew St. G's. And the guy's eyes like open up. He's my father. They were brothers and sisters. They didn't even know it. That's how far along my father was. My father was just a breeding animal, basically, you know?
Well,
it's amazing.
I will say one thing about the mindset and the consciousness of the mid-1900s, okay? There was a consciousness where they didn't know as much as we know now. There weren't many people that were really aware of the fact that you can really injure someone by lying to them. They didn't really understand that pretending wasn't okay. It's as if human beings have been evolving last century and this one, and I'm trying to put words to this, but I can sort of understand where your parents and your mother, the parents that raised you, your grandparent, the mindset and the consciousness that they had was they felt like they had the answer, and so whatever they had to do to make this happen, that you'd have a better life, and even if they lied or whatever, they didn't see you called it karma, they did not see the repercussions of it that were underlying. People saw things more on a surface then than they do now, if that helps any.
Yeah, that makes sense. I mean, I think what ended up happening eventually is that my parents, the people that raised me, they lived this life for so long that it became the truth.
Right.
And then when I didn't accept their truth, quote unquote, they got angry with it, even though it's a lie, because they've accepted it for so long.
Right.
They say, "What's wrong with you? We told you what this story is. Everyone else is wrong. Believe us." And I was like, I can't believe you. There's too much other facts out there that say otherwise. Mm-hmm. And so that's why I think they don't want to talk to me no more, because I think it's more embarrassment than it is anger.
Well, of course it is,
Yeah.
and I think that maybe the longer you're able to process that, because this is all still relatively new when you really look at it.
Yeah.
You know, a decade's not that long to undo a lot of pain and untruths. So I think that the more you process this, and that you will find a way of being willing to, you may not be willing today, but you may be willing to be willing. Just let a sliver of willingness come in, and maybe you can then say that prayer for them. I'm sorry, I love you, please forgive me, thank you. And it will clear the slate for you, if nothing else. You think?
Yeah, I think so. Again, Lisa, I have to credit Lisa for a lot of my discoveries, because Lisa has an intuition about things. Mm-hmm. And a lot of times I kind of, I won't say disregard her intuition, but I'm like, oh, okay, whatever, Lisa. But she's the one that kind of sniffed it out, say something is just not right here, Glenn. Just not right. And, so I have to credit her for that. And also the whole spiritual journey that's occurred after this, mm-hmm. That's when things really started to really move in a more positive direction.
Good.
Because again, like I said before, I was really negative about life. I was really hateful towards them. And I said, why am I doing this for? And once I discovered our spirituality, I said, why am I giving all this negative energy towards it? Stop it. Look, it's not helping you out.
Right.
And I even told my sister, I said, Lisa, I know what you're trying to do, but this is Lisa, my sister. I have a sister, Lisa. Sorry.
Okay.
Sorry, and I know it's confusing. I have a sister, Lisa. I said, Lisa, I'm okay with it now. I'm just trying to heal myself right now. And if certain people don't want to talk to me, I'm okay with it. I'm really good with it. I'm really good with my life. I'm really good with where I'm at right now, and I've accepted the reality of things, and I'm okay with it. And I just really hope and pray that my grandmother, especially my mom, has forgiven me for not being in her corner. You know, it's an interesting thing here. Just a little side note. Every weekend, as a kid, Saturday mornings, my mom would always be talking to someone on the phone. And I didn't realize at the time what was going on. But when they told me about my adoption, I realized what was going on there. I said, oh, guess who she was talking to? She was talking to my real mother every weekend. Because I was always wondering, why is the person on the other side of the line so interested in my well-being? How's Glenn doing? How's his grades? How tall is he? Is he eating good? I was like, who is this person? Come to find out, she was talking to my real mother.
Oh, my goodness.
Now, the one good thing my parents did, which was nice, is that all my clothes that did not fit me, they would package it up and send it to her so that Tito and Mark can wear my clothes.
Oh.
Let it be, yes. Let it be.
Are they as big as you?
Oh, yeah. Actually, I'm the runt. I'm the small one.
Okay.
I'm 6'2", Tito's 6'4", and my brother Mark is 6'5".
Oh, my goodness.
Yeah, so big boys.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, big, handsome boys.
Oh, yeah.
And colorful.
Thank
Do they wear headbands and colorful headbands like you?
This was, they don't do all that. They're not at the same point that I am spiritually, I don't think.
Okay.
Not, at least not yet. I'm trying to get them there. I'm trying to establish communication with my youngest brother, Mark. He and I have drifted apart due to, I won't say it here, but his philanderings. So I'm not judging him, but yeah, he lived a certain life that is, whatever. But no, this here, the headband stuff is, I wear it two reasons. One, my head's too big for our normal hat.
Okay.
I wear a 3X. That's the reason why. Plus, I sweat a lot too, so I like to, especially in the summertime.
Okay.
But also, I like the colors too. I love colors.
Okay. Well, we know a lot more about you now. When I said the last time when we did part of his interview that when he first started coming, we didn't know their names yet. We just called him the big guy with the pretty wife. Thank you so much for sharing all this, Glenn. We appreciate it.
Thank you.
And we're